Hello, guys. Hi, it's Alex again. I hope y'all are doing fine. And well, here I am today again. Unfortunately, with a slightly red day, but that was honestly a little bit expected. I mean, I wasn't expecting to lose money today, but I was definitely worried about that because after Friday's surprise green day, that I was, of course, very happy about. In fact, I was very excited about it, and I was so excited about it that I was worried that today, this excitement might make me cause me to do some risky trades, and I really tried to be on top of that, to not follow the excitement, but rather follow, really focus charts, and that will be one of our topics today. In fact, today I have like two and a half topics that I want to discuss. The first being your own intuition versus what your guru is saying. How do you know when to follow your guru and when to trust your own intuition? Now, this is something that I was struggling with today. But also the question is, like, could this be relevant to you? Because in the end, if you're learning day trading, you're not going to learn by yourself. I mean, some people might be. You will definitely read some books, and you will follow some YouTube videos. But in the end, you need to get information on when you do start day trading. Every morning, you need to know what to look at. So you can either get like some kind of third-party service by yourself, but then with third-party service like trade ideas, you need to configure your own lists, your own watch lists. And how do you know how to configure that? In the end, you might still end up joining some kind of teacher or as I said, guru that is out there. There's plenty of people out there teaching day trading and offering services such as chat rooms. And I myself am part of or like have subscribed to a chat room of one of those people. And I think a lot of people that start dating might end up doing that as well, simply because you need to get information at the very beginning in order to, like, for the very specific day. For every day, you need to get the information, what stocks to look for. And gurus, these teachers, really help doing that. Um, that is the first topic that I'm going to go into a little bit later when I go over my trades. Um, uh, right following that, I want to emphasize, because this will go right into that, chart patterns. Chart patterns are in the end what you're looking for. And to kind of explain that a little bit better, I'm gonna show you, of course, the trades that I took today, but also I'm gonna show you two essentially stocks I was looking at but decided not to trade because I didn't like the charts. I think that's quite important to kind of realize not only what to look at but also what not to look at or what to ignore, because it can be difficult and confusing to look at stocks and think, is this a pattern that I'm seeing now, or is this no pattern? What is this? So that's the second topic. And then again, I want to talk again about stop losses. Just this is only half a topic because it's not really that important, but it's super important that you don't set your stop loss too tight. And again, I've struggled today about that. So that is related to chart patterns and the certain, well, in effect, the support and resistance levels that you will see. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later as I go into the trades. So let me just start with the first topic, which also is my first few trades. I was so in my chat room that I've subscribed to. The people, the stock scanner was showing a bunch of stocks. There were quite a lot of stocks. You can see here at the beginning of my day, this is the video recording of my trading today. I had a ton of stocks on my list. Of course, it's impossible to trade all of these, so eventually I start filtering out by volume. Whichever doesn't have good volume gets deleted. BTAI, 1,800 shares, that's nothing, so gets off the list. And throughout the day, I will just reduce it, and in the end, hopefully, there'll only be like 3 or 4 stocks on that list. But anyway, ignoring that, ZKIN was on the watch list early today because it had already pre-market risen by, I think, was it 60% or something. It was quite strong already pre-market, and that's where I had this open right from the bat. And in fact, as I started looking at this, you can see here already it had just made a huge move. The market had just opened a couple of seconds before. You can see it's 9:30 and 41 seconds. So the market had opened 40 seconds before, and people started buying. And I also heard my particular guru in the chat room say that he's in. So in this moment, I did follow him. However, since I was already looking at it before and I already was ready to go into this, my reaction time was fast. Generally, I cannot advise to follow your guru blindly. In the end, well, this is not blindly, but this was quite risky because it's rising up. But hearing him go in and looking at it right from the top and knowing how volatile the market can be in the first 10 minutes, I decided let's give it a shot. And I react quickly. As soon as I hear him say, bam, I'm in. Well, in fact, I think I missed it here, and then I just kept seeing it rising, and then I'm going in, and I end up going in again, and the getting out of the stock was a little bit difficult. I got in at two buy-ins. I think it was a combination. Yeah, I got in at 360 something, and then 403. So a average entry of 379. As you can see down here. And I was just watching for it to come to cross over 4. Now this was a micro pullback. I was like not too worried about this, even though I was in the minus. I got it in a little bit too high. I was thinking about taking setting my stop loss, and while I was doing this, I saw it coming back. And then essentially what I just do is like panic sell as quickly as I can. Well, I'm hesitating as I'm talking here. My reaction time in that moment was a lot slower than now in retrospect when I'm telling you about this. But you can see that I saw it climb over 4, like around 410, and I was like, okay, now it's coming back, so let me just quickly sell. And I sold for almost $22 profit. That was a bit choppy because if I had just watched it, I could have sold at just after it crossed $4. That would have been a safe scalp. At least I could have sold half and then watched the rest. But this was going so fast, my reaction timing was a bit hesitant. But anyway, I got out of this one green, and that was good. That was exactly what I wanted. Now I end up actually going into this again just a few minutes later. So I was watching two stocks at the time. I'm going to be talking about MDJH in a minute as well when we're talking about patterns. But here again, this was going so fast, and I was watching this one. If you look at this area right here, it had made a short bounce back and then was coming back up. And as soon as it reached like $4, 410, I was like, okay, let me get into this and then sell. And I was trying to set a stop loss at 395, but it dropped so fast. Let me go back a little bit because I was talking while all of this happened. I was paying attention to the wrong things. So the mid buyer, I'm going in at 4, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see where it goes. Again, it was a little bit late, but I was hoping it's gonna. Actually, it was not late. It was just when it was breaking the previous high, and it's going up to 411, 412, and I'm trying to set my stop loss. But as you can see here, bam, from 410 it went to 390, and from 390 right to 370, and then further down. And I was like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And then I was just waiting for a good opportunity to get back out so that my loss is not too big. So I was surprised by this, and my reaction timing was not good enough. And this is all because I couldn't set my stop loss quickly as I would have liked. And in the end, I end up setting hotkeys for setting a stop loss. And I highly recommend that if you're starting to trade, really configure your hotkeys first, and configure buying, selling, and stop loss hotkeys right at the entrance. And I can show you mine real quick. So I have, for example, this is just my example. I have Alt and then numbers to set the amount of shares I want to buy. that is my buying. And I have shift, and since I'm going for percentages, I have shift and P for the full for everything. I forgot why I set it to P, but in the end, shift P is selling everything of that particular stock I'm looking at. Half is H is half, and K is a quarter. So my selling is shift plus letters, because I don't want to confuse it with my buying, which is alternate numbers, right? However, for my short 100, oh, never mind, yeah. However, for setting stop losses, that would be right here. I'm going to use shift again because shift is my selling order key, I guess you can call it. But instead of, because I don't want to sell, I want to set a stop loss, I put it to numbers as well. And in this case, I'm going with shift 1 for a 5 cent after entry price stop loss, and 2 for a 10 cent after entry price stop loss. To, I will probably add more, like 20. Let me do that now, right? Actually, shift 3 is stop, not dop. I can't type. Stop 0, 2. Well, let's take 15 cents. Hotkey execute, sell, percentage, stop, expiration day, route smart, this one, and here entry price, and I can just go down with the arrow keys to 15, save. I will add another one later, but I'm not gonna do that now. Let me go back to the video. Right, I'm back in the video. Right, I was saying that how fast this was dropping, and I just barely got on time. So in the end, I set stop losses with my hotkeys, and that really saved my ass in later trades. I ended up trading this stock. I can now show you the chart. Here, let me zoom in on this one. Yes. Go here and then, okay, to the right of my mouse you can see how it goes essentially like sideways, and later, and I was taking 2 more trades here in this area, seeing as it was rising above a previous high, and I decided, okay, maybe it was going to break, so I set a buy order, but then set immediately a stop loss, and as it came down I just lost maybe $5 or $6, as you can see here. So the big loss was $34, was where I didn't set the stop loss, and the other stop losses were all minus $6, minus $2, really fine. Okay, let me zoom back in to normal again, because this might be confusing. Now, let's go into intuition versus guru, the main thing that I want to talk about. That was at 34.45. $46. Okay. You can see here I had 2 stocks that I'm watching, ZKIN and MNGA. And I was actually watching MNGA just before this one happened. And as you can see here, MNGA had made a nice break of high of day, of previous high of day. And I was like, oh, this looks good. And I was watching it for like this micro pullback to see if it comes back. However, what happened is that while I was doing that, my guru, he said that he was still watching ZKIN, and he was watching here it crossing the VWAP, and he said he's into this one. So I decided, oh, okay, let me try to get in there as well. I watched this one, and bam, I set a buy order, immediately set a stop loss order as well. I believe I did anyway. Yeah, there we go. There's a stop loss order. And I was now watching this one. And what happened now, let me go, just skip forward. You can see this one was like still consolidating around, just around $3, a bit above $3. And now let's go to 39 minutes. Okay, as I told you before, ZKIN, I eventually stopped out. But watch what happened in that meantime at MNGA. Here, it had risen from $3 to 320. And my original intuition was to buy this one, just about $3, because I saw it whipping back and forth between 305 and 295, like always around that time. And it was holding that level, always around that level. And I was thinking, okay, let me just try to get in at 295 or 98 or something like this, and then try if I can sell it above $3. I didn't do that because I followed my guru in that particular moment. And then when I looked back at this stock, I regretted that decision because as I lost on ZKIN, I missed this opportunity. And this is where it comes down to, like following your guru is one thing, and or like you need to have a teacher, someone that you're looking for. You need to have some kind of chat room or worst case, you need to have your own stock scanner, which some platforms offer. But if you're a beginner, like me, and you decide to follow a chat room or a guru, as I say, like someone who teaches that, um, it happens that you at first you kind of like need to learn from what they're doing. While I really strongly advise you not to follow your teacher like blindly. Like if he says I'm going to buy, don't take time. Oh, what stock is he buying right now? Go into that stock and then buy it, because that takes 5-10 seconds. In those 5-10 seconds, the move that your guru was preparing for might have already happened, and then you might be getting in too high and lose out in the end. As soon as you reach a certain level of comfort where okay, you're going to look at chart patterns, and you're going to look at signals and indicators, and you're going to make a decision based on that. It can be, as in this case, wise to just follow your instinct and ignore what you hear other people doing in that moment. Now, again, I don't know if that's what you're going to do, but I wanted to talk about this because this is quite an important lesson for beginners. Don't just follow people blindly. After you have learned pattern recognition and indicator recognition, and you've kind of like fairly confident in that, just follow your own intuition. All right. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Well, I can talk about this one. I don't know if you saw it while you were watching this one. The limit buy order. Yeah, I bought this at 320, and I set the stop sell order at this is what I want to talk about. Sorry, this is the third topic, stop loss. And actually I skipped the second topic. I'm going to go to that in a second. But you see here, with my hotkeys I set a stop loss at 315, 5 cents below my entry. And that was good because it was, of course, around 317. Actually, in fact, I did that when I saw it just stay safely around 317. I was seeing it stay safely around 317 and not go below that, so that gave me confidence that this was a good stop loss, and also gave me an idea of the range that it might go up and down. Like 3 cents, maybe up and down from the entry in this particular instance, because it's moving very slowly. However, what I happened to do as soon as this got past 323, my 3 cent range, I decided to adjust. Is this still playing? Oh yeah. I decided to cancel my previous stop loss order and set a new one at 320. And that was, in the end, too tight. I ended up stopping out at exactly 320, just a couple of seconds or minutes after that. It was just kept going sideways like this, and it does end up go down to like 319 or 320, and then I stop out. So what I should have done is, I should have just stuck to the previous one, or maybe put it high at 3 or 4 cents. I end up doing this in a later trade. um, this trade where I have like $2 of a loss. As you can see here, the first trade that I did to MNGA, I stop out break even because I sold it at the same price that I bought into it. Whereas on the second one, that was, let me check. Yeah, the second one was here as it had broken, or I bought it somewhere around here in this range as it had gone um, into uh, like a new high of day, not high of day, excuse me, a new high of that dip. Like it broke this last red candle here, and even the one before that. So that gave me confidence that okay, maybe it's going to keep going. And I set my stop loss. I think at first it was 5 cents. And then I just left it at 5 cents, or eventually I put it up maybe 3 cents from my previous stop loss, and that was good because I think it stuck around 327 for quite a long time. Just 327, 327, going 327, 328, 326, 327, 329, 327, 328, 329, 327. So I was like, okay, 327. Let me set it at 325, and then I canceled that quite quickly and change it to 324. And you know, I still stopped out. It didn't actually go past 330 again, but it hit 325 quite a few times and then went back up before it came down. So that stop loss in the end was well set. You know, you don't want to set it too low. You can see the range that it's going up and down, and you would definitely want to set it below that range. If its range is constantly around 3 cents, set your stop loss at 4 cents or something like that. Minimum 4 cents. That is anyway, like the range that you see, and that's where there's an average true range indicator that you can use for that, which is going to help. For me, I was just looking at the range it was going over the past few minutes, and then set my stop loss accordingly. Okay. Okay, now I've set this. I've set all of this. That's good. Now, the two so now I explained to you the trades that I made today and why while looking at the charts, you know. Just real quick, you can see here this one had made a fast move, like a short correction, big move again, and then it started fading. But like you see these big moves and a correction that is okay, that is like just a couple of percent of the previous rise. So there's a good chance that this one can break again, as it did in this first move here. That is a good chart pattern that is predictable. This one here was a little bit less predictable as it was just grinding up. But again, you can see it's like standing here, it's grinding up. It makes a short correction. You see this tiny red candle in between here, which is just a micro pullback, and then it keeps rising. So this is, you know, this is a good pattern as well to look out for. This is a slow moving pattern, but it's something you can, especially well, if you see the volume is still high and it's just kind of stays high and it keeps rising. So it is really sensible to do a trade in this one. Now let's look at two that I was looking at today that I didn't end up trading, and this will be the closing of today's video. Again, it's a bit longer than I expected, but it needs to load. It takes, as you can see, it always takes time to load. We can look at JVA first. JVA hit the scanner a couple of times. Here you can see a quick rise, correction, quick rise. You know, like, but this is like a 1 minute candle rise. It's really quick, corrects, and then another 1 minute candle right after. By the time I saw this, it was like, you know, this one was already going on, and this one just came too quickly. I couldn't react, and after that, it goes up and down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit. It's just, you know, very choppy, and I do not see any pattern here. And it's quite important. If you see something like this, you know, you see it rising up and you think, oh, maybe I should try to take a trade here. But in the end, this does not show anything. This pattern does not show anything. And here, I don't know why MDGH isn't loading. Sorry guys, I don't know what's happening here. Finally we got it. Um, Here we go. You can see, okay, MDJH. This could be a potential pattern. This one here is happening 903 pre-market. I don't trade pre-market, and it's there's less liquidity pre-market, so it's generally not advised. And then this one happens right out of the gates, but it just ends up fading. In fact, if we look at this a little bit closer, that's too far. Yeah, so I was watching this one here. I hope you can see it clearly. This stupid window always gets in the way. But you can see it rose, it corrected a little bit, it rose, it corrected a little bit, rose, corrected a little bit, kept going back and forth. And I was thinking, okay, maybe this is going to, you know, form a triangle, bam, bam. But it's a very thick triangle. It's actually more of a sideways flag. Um, Actually, let me draw lines here. How does that work? Oh, that's annoying. Again. Oh, that great. I just made this stupid line. Okay, I was waiting for. Really? Something like this. But it actually ended up doing. Staying. Oh, this is super annoying. Okay, I don't want this either. Sorry. Okay, I want this, but I want that here. Okay, apparently I can't go there. Oh my God. Okay, my apologies. I wasted another 2 minutes of your time of your life. This is just going above that flag pattern, so it's not really a good pattern. And I ended up deciding against it because I didn't like how this was behaving. I didn't like this particular pattern. And in the end, that was a good decision because it just ends up fading. So I didn't trade this one for said reasons, and I did not end up. I ended up not regretting that one. All right. Okay. That concludes today's video. I was trying to limit it again timing wise, but I failed again a little bit. So my apologies. And anyway, I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, let me know. Bye bye.